Well, excited to be 2-0 and first two games behind us and have the record that we do. I think a lot of people in college football, regardless of who you're playing, at the end of two games, there's not that many people that are 2-0 right now. And so, you know, we saw a lot of things, good and bad, throughout the 2 weeks. Definitely focusing on improvement, you know, in our run game, averaging 6 yards a carry in the game and 0 turnovers, only 1 penalty in the entire game. On first down, again, we averaged 6.6 yards on offense. We were 3 of 3 in short yardage. You know, defensively, obviously, we didn't tackle well, and mostly in the first half. It was as bad as I've seen us tackle, and disappointed about it. And we're definitely going to work extremely hard on that, obviously, this week. And because we tackled so well in week 1, I was surprised to see that out of our guys. And to say the least, we made a big point about it tomorrow. They're a prideful group. I know they'll bounce back and play better, and they need to. You know, we got to play better technique in the front, the D-line, the linebackers, the safeties when they're in the fit, just getting off blocks and not letting one guy block us. And we locked a lot of people out, which is what we want to do, but we didn't shed. And shock and shed is a principle that I've said probably 3 billion times since I've been here. Changing the math, which means beating blocks and getting to the ball, it's something defensively you have to do, particularly on a spread team that can throw it. You know, most of their past plays were run blocking schemes with passes outside, so literally the quarterback can hand off the run or throw a pass on the same play. You're allowed to block linebackers downfield and throw forward passes now. So there's a lot of stress in those offensive systems, and guys have to beat blocks. And then now we get to take our first road trip and go play in a great stadium, pro stadium down in Tampa, and excited to go play on the road with this football team. It's a young team. It's their first road trip, and to be able to go to a place like that, it's a great venue. They have a great tailback, and Marlon Mack, number 5, and I'm not sure what the status is of their receiver, Davis, number 7. He didn't play last week, but he was their team MVP a year ago. He's a really good receiver, and so we'll see if he's back. They're a pro-style offense that you know, their head coach is a very good coach. He turned around Western Kentucky's program in his second year, and obviously worked for Jim Harbaugh, and he's been with some really good coaches. And they're going to be physical on offense. That's their MO, play action pass. And defensively, they've forced 9 turnovers in 2 weeks, which might be the best in the country. They're very long. They run. They play good defense. They're gap sound. They've got strong defensive linemen that get off blocks. And so we're going to have a great challenge on the line of scrimmage this week with our offensive line. And they chase the ball hard. You know, their kicker's a Groza list guy, so you know we know that they're going to have a chance to make kicks when they get in the red zone. And we got to do a good job attacking protections, but excited about the opportunity. And you know, one thing that we haven't done well as a football team is play well on the road, and that's one thing that I'm geared up to go change. And it's a challenge to do it for any team. I think in college football, the best teams are the ones that play well at home and on the road, and so that's going to be our mantra this week, is to be able to take our focus on the road and be able to play 4 quarters of football somewhere else. Any questions? You know, we can't turn the ball over on the road, number one. And the game we just played, we had no turnovers and 1 penalty. You're going to be in every game if you play like that. I mean, every game. And we got to play like that on the road. And I think part of that is having leadership on your team, you know, to keep the guys locked in and focused. And, you know, you're going to have fans now yelling at you instead of cheering for you, and you know, blocking that out. The crowd changes now. When you're on offense, it's loud, and when you're on defense, it's not. And so that part's different. And just being able to block out the distractions and clear the clutter and focus on the game plan and execute. And we didn't do that well last year. The year before that, they didn't do that well, you know. And so for us to take another step would be winning on the road. And so this is a great challenge for us this week. Probably any time you play against a spread team, if you tackled well, you played well on defense. I don't care who you're playing. And when you don't play well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of big plays in space in those kind of games. And we do tackling drills, whether we're taking them to the ground or just fitting them up or working the footwork to the clamp. On full padded days, where you can take them to the ground, we'll do some things like that where you get to finish the tackle. DBs work sideline tackle. They work open field space tackles. We even work a back shoulder tackling drill on a quarterback so you don't lose contain. And to be honest, what it is, it's focus. It's taking those details from a practice setting and then going into the team periods, even though it's not live, and playing it right to the thud like it was going to be a live tackle. And those are habits that you have to create in your defenders at practice. You don't have to take people to the ground to get good at tackling. You have to play full speed to the thud. And like a lot of times at practice, you'll see DBs run over and then they're a couple yards away and they kind of slow down and let the guy run. And that's a bad habit. We want guys to run and come to balance just like they're going to hit him and then go by his back hip.
So far?
Just his poise. He stays in the zone. I think in the spring you saw him get out of it and try to do too much, and now he's just doing what he's coached. He's reading pre-snap coverages and seeing tells and distributing the football. And last week he didn't put our defense in bad positions. He made some plays on his feet too, which was great to see. He had a couple plus 10 runs on his own, just creating things. And if he can just manage the game and be accurate like he's been, he's going to have a good season. That's the biggest thing.
Their quarterback